layering on a little too many things. I think it would have been fine without the machine, without the other monsters from another dimension. I think it would have just been a fine story with just the two vampires and the shadow guys, and if they introduced Buffy. They didn't do that for me.
Yeah. Well, and also, like, it would have been better if, like, the monsters were maybe really significant later in the issues, but, like, when the vampires and the shadow guys are fighting, all of a sudden they escape and they go to where the scientist is, and then they just destroy the machine. Like, it's as if that whole side story didn't even need to exist because there's no consequence to it.
Right, but they don't destroy the machine. Well, they destroy the machine, but they don't destroy the machine maker, and they give him eternal life. Spoiler alert, if we didn't say that at the beginning of the show. I thought that was kind of a neat thing, I guess.
Yeah, so he could make the machine again, I suppose.
Yeah, he's got unlimited time to make the machine again if need be, or I don't even know what's going on. It gets a little wackadoodle there with the scientist. Like I said, I think it would have been just fine if it was a street level vampire story.
Yeah, and because it also makes it this like crazy level of sci-fi that's completely unnecessary.
Right. Vampires, fine.
The vampires is enough because that's like a fantasy world, but now it's like they introduced alternate dimensions. Do they really need to add that level of fantasy to it?
Right.
I'm usually opposed to multiverse being added unnecessarily.
Yeah.
I think a lot of modern comics kind of fall into that trap as a explanation for things that it's like the new school version of something being radioactive.
Yeah, it's a crutch.
Yeah. What did you think about the monsters?
Well, we have a little bit more action before we get to the monsters because, like, the monster's so dumb looking.
It's so bad. I'm just on that page and I wanted to bring it up. That's not a good looking monster.
It's just a big green, dumb looking thing.
It's got like an open mouth and like crazy eyes, I guess. But it's like a blob.
Oh yeah, it's silly. It's got a bunch of eyes. It looks like one of those things that you put on your pencil when you were a kid. Or on your thumb. They're like thumb monsters. Yeah, it looks like it would be painted on the wall of the joke shop, Archie McVie's here in Seattle.
Yeah.
It's silly.
Good call.
Yeah, but the action getting to that monster is fantastic. Now,
that's probably the highlight is the action where the Asian shadow guys are chasing down the vampires.
Yeah, if anything, this book has got a lot of just, like, secretive killing. There's like this scene on top of this. So they go, everybody goes up on, they take a gondola ride to this tower where they can see overlooking the fair, and there's a couple that's on their honeymoon, and they sneak off, like everybody's, like they're tee-hee-hee, and they sneak off for a kiss, and this kiss is so gruesome because whilst they're kissing, this couple, the vampire couple, they're named Drew and Spike, bite them on the back of the neck and each other, like, so the Drew.
Oh, I did like that panel.
Drew who is the woman, her name is Drew, and she's biting the man on the back of the neck, and Spike is biting the woman on the back of the neck as they're in mid-kiss, and their eyeballs just sort of pop open, and it's like, and then they throw them off.
Yeah, and then they throw him off the edge. Yeah, that was probably the best page.
Yeah, this
of like plot but Larry, I hate to say it, but this art is very underwhelming.
Yeah, it's pretty janky.
There's like almost no detail to it. It's pretty basic. The colors are bright and that's nice. But like, I really like that the lady vampire, she has these kind of two faces. One is when she's a person, and then one is when like her fangs come out and she looks evil. But if the art was really good, this comic would definitely move up a few notches just because of this action could be portrayed so much better and the expression on their faces could really, change from the innocence to the evil vampire.
Yeah, I agree.
And that one panel, that's the best, that's probably the best art where they're kissing and they're getting bitten, but just imagine some of the artists that we've seen who could really, make that a whole page.
Yeah, no doubt. The vampire stuff is I kind of like the movement and the flashiness of the action because it does kind of sort of pop.
That's a good point. The action is the best part of the art, and when they're in vampire mode, that's their best look.
Yeah, they're moving, they're evading, getting there's a lot of arrows and like these cool weapons. I don't know what those weapons, those little donut weapons.
Yeah. They're almost like ninja stars, but they're circles.
Ninja disc.
Yeah.
And then, so they get away and they get
But it's like, how did he get away? He was posted against the wall with those ninja discs and he had a rope around his neck and they were shooting at him with wooden stakes. Yeah. I thought he was done.
I thought that's what I thought too. But
then he just run away?
They just run away. They throw the jacket over the cage. Oh man, I just got a Facebook update, man. That's so loud. You're lucky you can't hear it. But they get away and they smash open a car, like the latest and greatest car, and they
just drive it out like the 5th floor window.
It's stupid.
Yes.
And then they go back.
I can't even tell if they can turn into bats and fly. Like, one of the things I like about vampires is when they acknowledge either the classic vampire tropes or they defy it, but they really set the parameters of what kind of vampires you're dealing with. And I wasn't sure really what kind of vampires these were.
Yeah, they just seem to stay human form or human vampire form.
They drink the blood and I guess they're fast.
Yeah.
And they live forever, I guess.
Yeah. Those are the vampires. They do get, vampire, faces and stuff. But then, half the time
they get the fangs and the red eyes.
Most of the time they're human looking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of strange vampires. But this stupid car chase. And they make it back to the scientist place. And for whatever reason, that's their plan. We're gonna go back and...
Yeah. They're we got a new best friend because he, opened up the portal. But they don't really even know what he did. It's more just he presented a distraction for him.
Uh-huh. By blowing up the fair, practically. And then there's our monster. And they make their way to this thing. The monster likes them. I thought that was stupid.
Yeah. I think they make a deal with the monster. The vampires make a deal, but then they end up double crossing the monster. So I couldn't really tell. Did the monster give them some weird shadow powers so that they could kill the Asian people more easily?
Yeah.
Or is that part of their original power?
I don't know. Well, the monster helps them. Look in the background, you can see 1, 2, 3. All the tentacles taking care of 3 of the shadow guys.
Okay. Yeah.
So he just evens up the odds.
I guess so. But then they stab him with a sword, which doesn't seem like it would kill him, but it makes the whole thing explode.
Yep. And then everything goes kablooey and the end. But again, they also...
and the end, yeah. What? Where's Buffy?
Yeah, but they also, load up the scientist for future issues, I imagine, because they're going to give him vampire powers. They don't eat him. It
doesn't say that necessarily, but it definitely gives a little hint to it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what vampires do. They, sometimes they kill, and then sometimes they turn.
Yeah, but and so I'm glad they carried him off because otherwise I would have been really upset that they pretty much established these 3 plot lines and then completely destroyed them and took away any hook that would leave me for reading the next issue.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to stay with this, to be perfectly honest. I know that this is this is not the first issue of this comic. I mean, it's the first issue of this run after the series had started, maybe? Maybe it's
but it's like a prequel more so.
Yeah, so this is the prequel to Buffy that everybody knows and loves, and I know that that's a thing. I know that Buffy the Vampire Slayer is a thing, because I have friends who are always just like, really? You spent that kind of money and bought the box set?
Yeah, 7 seasons of a TV show, but season 8 is the comic.
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay.
So where'd you rank it, Larry?
Low. I put it at 13.
How many do we have?
I think we're at about 13 right now. Maybe a little bit more this season.
Well, I don't have my list, but I did rank it at my least favorite new comic.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
You know, I was hoping for something scary for Halloween. And, you know.
But if you're looking for a good Halloween comic to gift someone, which I was thinking about sending a gift to my brother, just send him, your meat, what's it called?
It's Taint the Meat, It's the Humanity.
Yeah, send them that one. That's way better.
Alright. So there you go. That's Buffy the Vampire Slayer. No Buffy.
No Buffy.
Classic
All's
number 1.
Fair.
All's fair. And, but we're gonna keep this scary going, and
Alright, Larry, what do we got?
I hope that we have listeners after next week, because I cannot believe our show has evolved to this. I can't believe that I'm going to do this, but this is a comic book that is rated very mature.
Ooh.
It is a kind of a zombie comic book. Oh, I don't even know where to begin with this, because
Larry, we have 18 comics this season.
18. Well, Buffy did all right then.
So I ranked mine 19.
19. Okay. I'm staying with 13. I'm sure there's,
Larry, that's way too high.
Danger Girl's still in there too.
Yeah, no, Danger Girl's 17 for me.
Alright, so
you put it above James Bond?
I think I might have put it above James Bond, yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
That's fair. That's fair, I suppose.
I know when I go to put my list together, you know, cause I just sort of put a number at the top and then circle it, and then I'll just like put it all together when I get around to it, and I know it's gonna be like all over the place.
Yeah.
Alright, this book, it's horrendous. It is nasty as it can get, as comics can get. It's your deepest, darkest, fears come to life in a comic book. It's called Crossed.
Crossed?
Crossed. C-R-O-S-S-E-D. And it's a virus that attacks you, turns you into a zombie, but you are functional, and every deep, dark, disgusting desire you ever had comes out in a bloodthirsty rampage. And it's a survivor story. How are you gonna...
that, like post-apocalypse kind of thing?
It's very post-apocalyptic, and it's very... It's just, you're gonna want to shower after this. This is the worst comic we're ever gonna read on the show, but we gotta do it at Halloween. And like I said,
looking forward to it.
It is very visceral. It is very, very, not for everyone. It's gonna be an interesting conversation. I already told my friends to listen to the show.
Hold on to your hats.
Hold on to your hats. It's written by Garth Ennis with art by Jens Burrows. and it was published from Avatar Press